Hello, this is Titus from T-Zone, and today we are covering Oak by Game Brewer, and this is the currently Game Found campaign, and I just played the prototype of this game, so I'm here to share my first impression on this game. I already can see something I like and I don't like, and I see the concern in this game, so I've wanted to share this with you ASAP. Okay, let's get into the overview. We are Druids joining a festival around the Holy Oak, so we are around the oak, we are around this big tree, and we are going to climb up this tree and try to gain more points to make your god happy, I guess. The Druid is actually a religion, for your information if you don't know that. Okay, so Oak is a worker placement, resource management, and engine building set collecting game. Okay, now let me introduce you three kinds of the actions. First is about the mood cards. Okay, now these cards on your left side, these are mood cards. First, on the top of the cards, these three columns can let you place a worker. So the first action is using the mood cards to place a worker. This requires some resources like feathers, like mistletoes, like runes. We'll have these three kinds of resources, and the resource management in this game is very tight. I will speak about this later. Anyway, this is the first action. You can place a worker with these mood cards, and there are tons of variety of these actions can do. You can gain some creature cards and some shrine and man here, and some new mood cards, some new workers, some artifacts is here, or make some potions which is here, and you can upgrade your worker into an ancient druid, which is here. Anyway, let's get into the second action, which is also require the mood cards, which is on the last column here. This is using the mood cards to climb the oak, and of course you need to pay some resources. And climbing the oak is kind of important because you can gain points from that, you can gain resources from that, and eventually you can get tons of points from that actions. So this is the second action, climbing the oak. And the third action is actually pass. So if you can't place any worker and you don't have any resources to pay, then the only thing you can do is to pass. And pass is not just passing, because you pass, then you are going to get some ingredients, and this ingredients is going to be used when you are making your potions. So actually even pass is important, because if anyone cannot take any action including pass, this round is over, and we are going to clean the locations and replace anything and then go to the next round. Okay, and actually you will have some free actions you can take anytime, which the first is pay resources to move the card limits forward. So we will have some card limits which will limit you on the shrine and the main here and the creature cards. So these two are actually quite important, especially creature cards, because this creature card can give you points and even give you some abilities. So when it comes to this creature card and this card limits, this is kind of important. And the second one is pay 2 ingredients to gain 1 resource. So as I just say, the resource management in this game is so tight. So this free action is kind of important, that you can pay your ingredients to get more resources. This is kind of important action. Okay, that was the role overview. So let's get into the points that I liked. First is the various way to gain game-breaking ability, especially from these creature cards and this potion and these artifacts. These three give you plenty of opportunity to gain game-breaking abilities, because from here, especially from the artifacts, like here, you can gain shrine from here, you can reduce the cost when you are making a potion, or you can do anything crazy and game-breaking. I'm kind of impressed on this point, and that was kind of fun. So the second point, what I liked is the worker system is kind of special. So first, we need to know that we will have totally 9 workers, and 3 of them will be active at the first of the game, and 6 of them will be under the oak and be some passive workers. and this passive worker, you can use them to climb out the tree or gain them after you use the moon cards from here. And then maybe you can gain more workers, but you will need spaces for them. So you will need to gain some shrine from here, then you will have space for them, but this will require you another act, right? So if you want more worker, then you will need more shrine, and you will need to use your moon cards. That's 2 actions. So I think the worker system is well designed and I like it. And the third one is the festival system to replenish resources is kind of important. I say this multiple times, the resource management system in this game is so tight, so tight. So how can you gain more resources, right? At the first of every round, you will gain 3 of each these resources, these feathers, the mistletoe, and the runes. But that's not enough, because every time we want to use these moon cards, that will basically cost you more than 3 resources. So this will not be enough. This is very tight resource management experience. So how you gain more resources, which is from what I just said, the festival system. So actually every 2 turns, if you don't rush it, you will have this festival timing that you can gain more resources from your workers if they are climbing the tree. Okay, so now the oak climbing system is important too. So I think they designed the resource management so tight is for this reason. They want you to climb up the tree to gain more resources. I think this is a good design. Okay, now let's get to the 4th point, which is the set collecting is fulfilling. Okay, so basically we will have tons of things to collect. First is of course the artifacts, but we can only collect 2 of them, and then the potions, and then the shrine and menhir, and then the creature cards. These are basically the 4th biggest thing we can collect, and of course the ancient jewelries. Of course this can be collected. And why is this fulfilling? Because if we are climbing the tree, we'll get to the end of the tree, and then we can get plenty of points from this action, which is from the set collecting. So we can collect this ancient jewelries, and then each of them will give you 2 points. So basically if you have all of them, you will gain 12 points from this, and that's a lot. And of course, if you're having artifacts, you can gain tons of points. If you're having tons of this potion, completed potion marker, then you can gain more and more points, and some of this shrine and menhir cards and these creature cards as well. So the set collecting system is fulfilling because it's not just set collecting. This will give you tons of abilities, especially from these creature cards, the potion, and the artifacts as well will give you some points from the set collecting. So now let's get to the 5th point, which is the art. I think the art fit this theme very much, especially these creature cards, and the other arts are gorgeous, but I have some cons on this one, so let me talk about this later. Okay, now let's get into what I didn't like. First, which is this game very depend on knowledge and experience to this game. This game is very unfriendly to new players. Even you have some good teaching, you have a player who have played this game, he leads you well. Even so, this is unfriendly. In this game is a lot, but the management of the resources and the management of the workers are very difficult. So this game will give you actually 12 choices at the first of this game, so very hard to play this well, especially if this is your first play and you can't actually see through everything in this game. What's happening? Why is this card important? Why is that card important? Why is that artifact important? What should I do now? I don't know how to use this potion. I don't know how to collect those ingredients, and everything is just so questionable in this game at the first time, of course. Maybe it's because there are too many choices in this game, or maybe it's because the resource management is very tight and the new players cannot see that actually. And the second one is this game requires perfect performance to do this game well, and even one mistake can be fatal. This is also a big point that this is not a very heavy game actually, because you can see some luck elements. But even so, this game requires you perfect play. If you make one mistake, even one mistake, this can take you down and that will pull your leg all time after you made it. So if you want to play this game well, you basically cannot make any mistake. And this is so stressful actually. Okay, so now let's get to the third point that I didn't like, which is the symbols are too simplified to understand and the locations and the route on the tree are hard to recognize at first. Of course, we will get used to this, but it's really hard to recognize all of them, especially about the symbols. These symbols, especially on these potion tiles, on the artifacts, on the creature cards, these are very hard to understand. Each time we see something and we can't understand, we have to see the rulebook and read it again, and we cannot remember everything actually. So we will like read the rulebook again and again, and even sometimes not everyone can be really sure about all these effects on these cards and these tiles. So this is actually a problem, and I think because of the art style of this natural style art, some spots, especially on the tree, is very hard to recognize which is connected with the other. I can't really tell at the first time I see that, and I can say, oh, this is connected with this. So this is also a very big point that I didn't like. Okay, now let's get to something that I concern a lot, which is first, lack of repairability. This is seriously something I can see. Okay, let me explain. The first game I played this, it will be like, oh, this is so hard. And the second time I play this, I will be like, okay, I am now getting to know this. And the third time and the fourth time will be, okay, now I know how to play this well. And the fifth time and further will be, okay, I already know how to play this well. I guess it's enough. And I think the main reason of this one is because the artifacts is not very much, it's 12, and the potions, every time we will reveal 3 of them, and of course artifacts, and this will be routine. Of course, these creature cards as well. It's not very enough as a game like this. So this is actually connected with the second point, which is the cards and the artifacts are too powerful but not enough. So the third point is you can see some future expansion from cards and other stuff. Okay, I just say that these cards are not enough. 24 mood cards, and this is all the same every time we play this game. Artifacts is only 12, and potions. So my game group start to consider that, why is that? Even 24 artifacts is okay. But we thought that maybe it's because of they are planning for an expansion for Oak. That's a concern for me. If the core game is not really satisfying and we will need some expansion to cover that, then this is not actually a very good experience, to be honest. Okay, now let's get to the fourth point, which is this is not very well balanced. Some strategy can be weaker than others. What I'm talking about is the strategy for this shrine and menhir. Okay, this shrine and menhir basically give you points and some spot that you can place your worker on them. And this is not a place that you can place worker for free or something. You will need action to place more worker from your mode card's action. You will need to put one worker to gain more workers back. So this requires you 2 actions to actually make this efficient. And this is not very strong because this shrine and menhir cards don't give you any special abilities like from creature card, like from artifacts. These are just but for workers or 6 points actually. So I think the strategy of this shrine and menhir cards are actually not really strong when it comes to comparing to the others. Okay, now let's get to the 5th point, which is the resource management is a little bit too tight. And I think they actually mean this. Maybe you won't like it, like I didn't like it a lot. Okay, now let's get to the 6th point, which is this game is going to be better in 3, not in 4. 4 can be a little bit fiddly and too crowded on the locations. Okay, so that was everything I want to say about the first impression of Oak. I still think Oak has very much potential. This was a very fun experience actually. I like the worker placement system. This is very special, and I like those abilities from these creature cards and the artifacts, and I like the strategies of this game, but I don't think this will be very much a replayable game for like 10 times or more. So I share my concern with you. I won't rate this game because this is just a first impression. And I hope this video helped you out about thinking about backing this or not. And I hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.